How to write a blog post from start to finish. You'd be surprised how few people understand the value of writing long-form content and what that can do for your marketing. Long-form content can be the cornerstone for attracting the exact right prospects for you for so many different reasons. I think one of the most captivating reasons to create long-form content is that you get the higher quality prospects, because when someone consumes your long-form content, whether it's in a video or it's in a blog article like we're talking about today, when you make an offer at the end of that content, which is where you should be making an offer, you know that the people who take you up on that offer have spent time going through the content. That's a higher quality prospect, someone who's probably more likely to close. This video is going to teach you why you should be creating long-form content like blog articles, where you can be putting those articles even if you don't have a website. I'm going to show you where to get ideas for creating great blog content, and then we're going to talk about drafting your content and ultimately editing your content so that you get a very precise piece of marketing material. Then I'm going to share with you one tip that I don't think anyone should ignore when they're creating blog content. And if you're new to my channel, my name is Chris. For the last 24 years, I have had thousands of paying clients who I've helped wildly grow their businesses by attracting clients online. These are people who are inspired to have an impact on others and seek to get paid beautifully doing something that they love. So I help them do that, but I do it in a way that is a little bit different, something that you might not expect. If you have a website, then you probably have a section on your website where you can create articles or blogs. That's a great place to put this long form content. But what if you don't have a website? Well, that's where places like LinkedIn or Medium come in. You see, on LinkedIn, you can do more than just post content. You can post long form content in the form of an article. And if you really want to get sophisticated, you can turn that article into a newsletter and have it broadcast out to the people who are connected with you and who subscribe to that newsletter. So even if you don't have a website, I think you should be creating long-form content and putting it in places that are going to demonstrate your education, your expertise, your authority, and your trustworthiness. That's what's going to get people coming to you looking for the solutions that they see. Sometimes starting is the hardest part, so let's get you started right away. And we start by getting ideas for your articles or for your blogs. And sometimes it can be a little bit difficult to come up with ideas because you want to create content that's going to resonate with your audience. So where I like to start is with my notes from my sales calls. You see, when I'm on my sales calls or when I'm talking to my prospects or when I'm talking to my clients, they will often ask me questions. And when I start to hear the same question repeated 2, 3, 4, 10, 30, 50 times, I know that that's a question that a lot of people have and that they want to have answered. So what I will do is I will take that question and I will turn it into a blog post or a blog article. And that is helping me understand what my audience is looking for. Instead of me having to sit down and say, this is what I think they're looking for, I know what they're looking for because I take lots of notes when I have my calls and I make sure that I always mark what questions are being asked. And when I start to see repetitive questions, I know that's a question that I should be answering in long form content. Another place that you can find ideas for your blogs is to go through social media, take a look at some of the people who are in your space, who have the same clients as you, and look at their social content and then go through the comments and look at the questions people are asking. If they're asking people who are maybe your competitors or your peers, then they probably have the same questions for you. So when you go through their content, you look through the comments, you're going to see those questions. Just start to catalog those questions. And again, when you see them starting to repeat themselves, that would be a good question to answer in long form content. There is study after study after study that shows that when people are consuming content online, most people want to be educated about the thing that they're interested in pursuing. So if you have a solution that you offer someone, whether it's a product or a service, most of your prospects would like to be educated before they engage you. So if you're answering the questions you have, you're already starting the process of educating them so that when they come to you, they're much more ready to buy. Okay, now that you have your ideas for your blog or for your articles, it's time to start drafting. Now, I know you remember high school when we had to write rough drafts for the reports that we were writing. Gotta kind of do that again now with your blog articles, because all of the platforms where your content is going to surface are looking for high quality content. So we can't just willy-nilly this. We have to step forward with high quality content, content that educates, content that informs, content that helps people get better at what they do. So we're going to create a rough draft, but it's not as hard as you think. You're going to just sit down and start writing ideas down. You're going to write sentences and paragraphs, and you're going to start to just put those in some sort of a logical order, an order that would make sense when someone is seeking to be educated, for them to consume that content in that order and have some sort of an eye-opening moment or a mind-expanding moment where they're educated by the content that you're creating. One of the ways that I like to create my rough drafts is by using voice to text. I like to talk more than I like to write. So it's really easy for me to just sit and look at a topic and just start talking about it. So I'll use software that takes what I say and turns it into words. Sometimes if I'm not here in my office, I'll just take out my phone, open up a voice memo, and I will just start talking about a topic. Then I'll get that transcribed, and I can take that transcription and turn it into some really high quality content. You can do the same thing. And if you like the content that you get here on my channel, why not subscribe? All you have to do is click the subscribe button, turn on that bell for notifications so that you can get this content before anyone else. Jump the line every time I release a new video like this. And then once you have your first draft, it's time to edit and create your final draft. Editing means taking that content, reading it, getting rid of unnecessary information, making sure that it flows and it sounds really good. And the advice that I would like to give you is to add your own experience into your content. That's going to help differentiate you from everyone else because you have a unique experience in doing what you do. So make sure that you're weaving your own story into that content. Even as you're educating, cite examples of when you were able to accomplish the thing that you're writing about or that you're trying to help them accomplish. Or maybe talk about a client that you had that had a transformation. By adding in your own personal touch, you're giving your content a unique fingerprint that no one else can replicate. And then always make an offer. At the end of your content, always make an offer because people want to know what you can do for them. And by the way, now's the time for me to make an offer to you. If you'd like to brainstorm with me about how you're attracting clients online, I'm going to include my calendar link in the description of this video. It'll be right there at the top of the description. Just visit that calendar link or click on it if you can click on it and apply to meet with me. And we can spend a few minutes talking about your marketing, talking about how you're marketing online and what you can be doing to get more clients fast. And then finally, I want to give you a tip that I think so few people pay attention to, and that is to simplify at every turn. I often say to the people that I serve, strip away the unnecessary information and give people the core of information that's going to help them feel educated and give them a transformation. And while everything that I just taught you is incredibly important, it might not be the only thing that you need right now. That's why I'm going to put a link for a video right here. This is a video that YouTube thinks you're going to like, so you should go check that out. But before you do, why don't you click on my face right here and subscribe to this channel so that I can bring you more awesome content like this.